Everyone growing up in the United States over the past century has been told how important voting is to our democracy, that we all have a say in what happens to us, and that if you don't vote, you can't complain. This all must have been true at some point when the US was a democracy, but it hasn't been in decades. Corporate control of government has become almost complete. Now, we have an oligarchy, defined as a government by the few or a government in which a small group exercises control, especially for corrupt and selfish purposes. Either way, it doesn't look too good for any of us middle class folks. And if you're hardcore working class, it's even worse. Especially since our real income has decreased over the past 2 decades, at the same time, corporate profits have skyrocketed. Maybe we are still in denial about this, but can anyone deny that our country is run almost entirely, except locally perhaps, by a small group of wealthy individuals? Mostly men, and a few politicians who, by the way, are funded and controlled by the wealthy.
This wealthy minority, mostly corporate moguls, make sure our country's laws favor their financial security. We sometimes call them the 1%, and they are completely in control. Don't kid yourself for a moment. And now that there's no limit to presidential campaign contributions, it's easier than ever to buy politicians who will vote your way. Actually, it's never been that hard to own politicians. It seems that most of us would prefer to be in denial about this matter, as it is more comforting to believe that we have a say in how we're governed, what our national priorities are, and how we treat the needy. But we have about as much control over how our tax money is spent or how our politicians behave as we do over the weather.
In most historical settings, we've called this group of individuals the ruling class, and it is increasingly appropriate these days in our country. For those of us who cherish democracy locally, nationally, and globally, these are dim days. Those with the resources are making the decisions, which is why the environment continues to suffer, poor people and children continue to suffer, and the government regulation of corporations and the ruling class are mostly gone. But we all know this. In the most recent presidential election, or any election for that matter, we have the choice of usually two candidates, both typically well funded by special interests, which are rarely your interests, and representing basically the same philosophy, whether it be the Republican or Democratic brand. It's a one-party system, and we are all getting fooled into thinking we have a choice. If we really did have a say, would we be shipping all of our jobs to China? Would we be ignoring the environment? Would we be undertaxing the rich and overtaxing everyone else? Would we let large corporations pay few or no taxes and at the same time give them hundreds of millions in incentives? Would we feed children in the US regardless if their parents were poor or lazy or both? Would we allow identically skilled women and other minorities to be paid between 56% and 78% of what white men earn for the same job? Quite clearly, we value profit more than people. We still seem to believe everyone has the same chance to be rich and influential. Grow up in the ghetto and see how this sounds. Or be female. Voting is a myth. While you may have some say in local elections, quite clearly you have little or no say over what our politicians and ruling class do. In fact, voting may do nothing more than support a dysfunctional system, a system that works very well for the ruling class and even some for the generally wealthy. Voting only encourages those who control us and maintains the illusion of a democratic system. You know, we've been here before.
Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. And accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for their future security. It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government.
So, what's the alternative here, short of revolution? What does not voting do? First, it shows a non-compliance with a corrupt system of government, just as not following an unfair rule might do. Second, it's a personal statement of conscience that some of us will act according to what we truly believe is right. And third, it shows that we will no longer be fooled into believing that our system of government is representative, that we have any say in government other than local. In some countries, there's this thing called the no vote, sometimes referred to as none of the above, or NOTA, and it's designed to allow voters to disapprove of all the candidates in an election. If voting can elect an official, we should be able to say no to any or all the candidates we find unsuitable or unrepresentative. Normally, a majority no vote results in a new slate of candidates. In addition to these countries, the United Kingdom, Serbia, and Poland have active efforts underway to institute a no vote system. Maybe this would be a good time to look more closely about moving towards greater representation for the American people.